walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut. I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut. Healing in my heels, healing in my heels, healing in my heels. I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut. Healing in my heels. I learned to walk on my own. I never asked for anyone to teach me. I just watched, I listened, and I was supported to walk.
Tonight's very special guest goes by the name of Mr. Leon Walker. He returns with some brand new topics.
So hey y'all, welcome to another episode of TeaTalk. I'm your host, Yolande, and we have the relationship man with us, and I am so excited to have you, Leon. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We want to get to know you.
All right, let's do it. A little bit about me. I served 32 years in the Navy. I'm an author working on my 4th book. I have 3 children, 4 godchildren. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I love to talk. I love to help people. I like to work out, exercise, run. Done a couple of marathons. You know, I like to stay in shape. I'm very social. You know, I'm very understanding. I'm a great listener. And, you know, I'm, like I said, Cleveland, Ohio. I joined the Navy at 17 years old in 1983, and I retired in August 2015. So been all over the world, served on 5 ships, spent 15 years out at sea, bunch of awards and accolades and things like that. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, well, that was fast. My gosh. Mr. Walker, he is being modest. Mr. Walker, because I have so much like respect, but he's the relationship man because he's your guy. He's that guy, over 40,000 followers and counting. He is Leon. He's amazing. And y'all need to check him out because honestly, he's doing big things. He's also, I feel like you're helping Black men to be accountable. To be able to recognize the traits in themselves that cause damage, and then to be able to say, you know what, yeah, I did it, but I can change. Because you're an example. You're okay. I'm not trying to gas you up. I'm being, because if it was not so, I'll tell you. But I feel like you're what women like me and every woman wants now, because we don't want a perfect guy. We just want somebody who can say, I'm sorry, and here's how to fix it. That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so before we get into all of this, because I feel like we could talk for hours, let's do the challenge question. You ready? You don't know what I'm going to ask you.
I have no idea.
All right, so let me see. How many strokes of deodorant do you use? He was like, so what the hell is she about to say?
That's the question. Because for a long time, I was using Old Spice, Fuji, Senate, and I was like, it wasn't strong enough. And so my sister was like, you need to change to this deodorant called Lume, L-U-M-E.
Oh.
And I could put on the Old Spice, and within hours, I'm like, you know, I'm a clean dude. And now I'm getting older. I'm like, what's going on with my body, the pH balance and things like that. I got aluminum in my body, whatever. And so once I my deodorant, it's stronger. And I didn't have that smell. It would last through my workouts. And so, yeah, it probably 2 on each arm, you know, and 2 strokes on each arm, and I'm good to go now. And it lasts for hours and days, really.
Right. Okay. So I'm 3-stroker. I need 3 on each side. I never heard of Lume though, but Old Spice is a nice scent. So, okay.
It is. Yeah. But I have to go from the nice scent to the protection of my body not having an odor under my arms, you know?
Right. Because that's not a good look. No.
No.
I think in my book, pits would probably be worse than bad breath. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of hard. You know, you can't stick gum under your arms.
No, right? Both of them.
Exactly. Okay, so one other challenge question would be, what's your signature move? So you're trying to woo a woman. You want to get to know her, and you're taking it from friendship to relationship-wise. What's your signature move?
My signature move is, and I use this maliciously as a narcissistic person, right? Because I know women like to talk, but they like a man that listens and understands and can respond with some type of knowledge. So my signature move, I would say I don't like to call it a signature move, but I like to listen before I do anything else.
Ooh. You know what? I feel like my signature move as a woman used to be, because I sing, I used to kind of use my voice to Yeah, if I be real, because you know, women, like, you know, I was talking about this with my girlfriend. We were like, you know what? Narcissism is not just a male trait. There is no gender role when it comes to narcissism. Women can be manipulative too, as much as we don't like to admit it. I mean, it even starts back to Adam and Eve. Shoot, you know, like we could definitely be seductive in all of this, and so, and I do believe that narcissism has a lot to do with manipulation. And I feel like for me, my signature move was always trying to, like, you know, what, you know, if they ask me to sing, I'm gonna sing them a song, or I'm gonna use the tones in my voice to let them know, like a sultry tone, stuff
Yeah.
like that. That was very manipulative on my part. But
Yeah, see,
listen,
mine was the listening and the eye contact. Even though I knew she would eventually find out who I really was, and then I couldn't have eye contact, but to initially draw her in was the listening and the eye contact. Yeah.
wow, because people say if they can't look you in the eye, they're not telling the truth. So you definitely, wow. Is that you in the background?
Yeah, my son had a picture of me. Should I take it down? Are you good with it?
No, I love it. I'm like, wow.
My son drew that picture of me in 2015, and he gave it to me at my retirement ceremony.
Oh, wow. It's really nice. He's amazing.
Thank you.
He's looks like he'd be an amazing artist. I keep looking down because I'm looking at my notes because we finna get into this now.
I
Ready?
got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, first thing I want to know about, is it about control? Is this whole narcissism and narcissistic trait thing about wanting to control, not just your partner, but your environment?
Yeah. Because you got to think about it. It's about control, but more importantly, it's about not wanting to lose.
Hmm.
Men can be narcissistic towards other men. I mean, heterosexually, because they don't want to be defeated. You know, they can't process loss or hurt or pain, which takes them back to their loss or hurt or pain as a child. So losing in anything, chess, checkers, basketball, cards. A lot of people, when we use the word sore loser loosely, but sore loser is it's a real trait. And I had to learn how to lose, you know, gracefully and bow out. And so, yeah, it's about control, but it's also about not being defeated by being a narcissistic man with women, in relationships with women, not being defeated by a woman, or not knowing what I should know at a certain age, or she's knowing more than, you know, I didn't like that.
Right, the whole level of maturity thing, because women, apparently they say we mature faster than men. And so yeah, anything that kind of attacks not the self-esteem, but how
Ego.
you hit it on the head.
Right there, especially when nobody's ever attacked you, or you know, nobody's ever called you out, and then you get called out, and now you have nowhere to go. You're looking for resources to help. You know, now I got to cover this lie up, or now I got to try to tell the truth.
Right.
And sometimes it's too late because you done lied so many times. A woman doesn't want to believe anymore. So that ego, that's a huge monster.
Wow. Like when you're talking about not being called out and stuff, I'm thinking also in terms of a relationship with our parents. I don't know. Did you grow up with your dad too? Or he was in your life, right?
Both my parents were in my life. You know, my mother started getting high in 1985 and smoking crack, and she just never stopped. My dad, you know, got custody of us when we were like 11, and was back my mother for a year, and then back my father. And so, yeah, they both my parents were in my life.
Oh, wow. Because I'm thinking, like, with me, my mom worked all the time. I love my mom. We're super close, but she, you know, I kind of had to learn a lot of my woman stuff, like how to clean and how to cook and stuff like that. I kind of taught myself because she wasn't there. So I'm like, the relationship sometimes with our moms or our parents or whatever, if you have a single parent home, it kind of affects how you are with being called out, with how well you win and lose, with how well you take things, or admit you're wrong, accountability, all that stuff has to do with parent relationship. How much do you think is us taking accountability for our narcissistic traits, and how much do you think is our parents' fault?
It's you know, it can go either way, because I've met a lot of great wholesome women that had their parents still married, right? And so they valued family, they valued marriage, they valued the vows. I didn't value marriage, I didn't value vows. So when I got married, I was like, all right, cool, no big deal, let's get married. I wasn't ready to get married. And so it has a lot to do with not only your upbringing, but the consistency and the, you know, the parenting, still reaching out to the child and still educating them on a daily basis. You know, the key thing in that is continuity. I
Yeah.
lost when I was a child being sent to live with another lady that wasn't my mother. And so now I'm like, when my parents got divorced, I'm like, family didn't mean much to me. It was like, I got a brother and sister, but it wasn't the core thing that I had. I didn't have that core family
Yeah.
value morals. So I lost that. So it's both the parents and the child, the child being receptive to the parent, the teaching, and how the parent teaches nowadays. You can't, the old school way of teaching and raising kids, you can't do it because these kids succumb under pressure. Like we got yelled at, we got slapped and punched
Got
and
a
all.
whooping.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
got put out the house at 8 years old. You know, no, we weren't going nowhere. But you do that now, and it's called abuse.
Absolutely. And I'm a social worker, so I'll tell you, don't try that. You know what I
And
mean?
still, these kids abusing parents now, talking back, yelling, hitting parents.
Yeah.
Oh, it's both. It's the child being receptive and the parent not being afraid to teach the child or even admonish the child, not in a physical way, but you know, remove the phone or the iPad stuff. You can't go to jail. Yeah.
Exactly, consequences. Because I feel like I've dated guys who had major mommy issues, and it'd be like if their mom is always siding with them. I think you even did an amazing clip, which I'm going to play. It'll be in the show later on, but the clip about having mommy issues.
Yeah.
That was serious, because if the mom didn't discipline or call them out, or she always takes his side, or she's his number one, that kind of stuff, it reflects in how he treats you. And you're a man, you know, you're a man. So have you ever done that to women? Did your narcissism start in your marriage or prior to?
No, so mine was, my mommy issues worked the opposite for me because I wanted to have a mother in my woman. Okay, since I lost my mother through divorce and not living with my mother and the crucial ages, so I would always look for my woman to be the way my mother was from the kindergarten to the 6th grade, because after the 6th grade it was over. And so if I didn't see that in her, I fell in love with her mom, not in a weird way, but I fell in love with a good mom that was still around, cooking meals and hugging you in the morning and getting her sisters or brothers prepared for school and talking to me as a mother and say, hey, Leon, I'm proud of you. You're doing well in the Navy. Can I see some of your pictures? Can I see your trophies? I got so many trophies from the Navy. My mother didn't see any of them.
Wow.
You know? So I would, if I didn't see that, I didn't feel that in my girlfriend, that motherly figure, I would look for it in her mom. So I was always close to my girlfriend's mothers, very close. Even after the moms would be like, Leon, come by. I know y'all not together. Or because they seen this all-American guy, Navy guy, clean cut, recruiter, whatever. But they didn't see the other side, that I was, the way I was acting towards their daughter. But they understood, like, you know, well, your last boyfriend was worse than Leon, so Leon can't be that bad. They would always believe that. So yeah, I had every woman that I dated had a great relationship with their mother.
That's actually quite deep, because again, my girlfriend and I were talking, and it's like she was talking about her experience with a narcissist, and she was like, everybody would say he's a great guy. My mom, everybody would like him. So is that something that they do to kind of charm their way into the fam bams or whatever the case is, and then they're behind closed doors, they're a freaking monster? What the fuck?
Yeah, they won't, the family won't believe that what you're telling them. After a while, what happens to the woman is that she'll stop telling the family what he's saying or what he's doing. And then I show up with her. We at the family reunion, we at the birthday parties, Christmas dinner. We looking sharp. I'm very pleasant. I'm professional. I'm a totally different dude. So I tell people that narcissistic people are 2 to 3 different people. I was 2 to 3 different people, but we never talk about that. But it's like, it's a camouflage, you know? And so, yeah, we're always 2 to 3 different people. We're always 2 to 3 different steps ahead, depending on how deep you go into it and how much of a narcissistic person you are. You're going to always be 2 to 3 steps ahead. You're going to always be planning to either exit or get in and control and dominate and manipulate. Always 2 to 3 different people, always.
It sounds exhausting. And I mean, to be honest, though, if I think about it, I can even, you know, in therapy and all that, I did discuss these things. But if I really think about it, I think it's a trauma response due to, you know, even being molested as a child. For me, I had to be happy in front of people who didn't know. And then the ones, you know what I mean? Like, I try to function normally despite all the stuff that was going on in my mind. So the camouflage and sometimes the manipulation comes from, and being different people is just because it's a trauma response where, you know, you can't walk around sad. You have to function in the world. So,
Right.
you know, putting on a smile and this whole fake shit, it's something that you do as a defense. Why do you think narcissists become, I mean, if you want to do self-disclosure, how do you think you became that way?
I know I became that way first because being molested in the first grade, people like, how does that happen? My cousins did it. And then losing my virginity at 8 and then being addicted to porn at 7. So I lost a lot of trust in women, right? And then with my uncle touching my private parts, I had a lot of fear. So I was always scared. I didn't know who to trust. I was afraid nobody protected me. Who's going to protect me? So now I got lust for women. I got anger issues towards men. I got fear. I have a low self-esteem, no confidence, because I was just stripped of everything as a child. I stopped brushing my teeth for months. Right before my parents got divorced. I stopped taking a shower for months right before my parents got divorced. So I was like, and then, you know, then it led to my suicide ideations at 11 and 12. So I was all over the place. And so I had to figure out who do I want to be? What are you going to do? You know, you're going to kill yourself. You're going to be out here at a young age. I never had a chance to find out who I really wanted to be until the 6th grade, when I was pretty much 11 years old and on my own. I was in the streets at 11, in the stores, you know, stealing stuff, breaking stuff, staying out all night long. And this is right before I went to the 7th grade. And so I had a lot going on. So it was like I was made to be this, whoever I wanted to be. I was already stripped. I was already molested. I was already raped. I already had addiction. So it's like I had nowhere else to go but up.
Exactly. Wow. Exactly. That's freaking powerful. I'm trying not to lose my shit right now because I'm just so, it's powerful. You have something to say, and a lot of it is relatable. You know what I'm saying? It is, all of us have been through stuff and we don't necessarily talk about it. And it's like, yeah, it starts when you are stripped of everything and not being able to trust. And it's not only who do I want to be, but who the hell am I?
Who am I?
Who am I? Not who, because I mean, I think at 27, I was like, who do you want to be as a woman? You're a mom. Do you want to be this type of woman? Whatever. But who am I only came at like 38. That I want to be this, but right now, Yolanda is fierce. She's bold, but she also gets scared and then like defense mechanism goes up. Who am I versus who I want to be? That doesn't come till later.
Right. And so with me, it came earlier because I had no choice. Wow. And so, because then I knew I wasn't going to college. My father's father dropped out in the 6th grade. My parents dropped out in the 9th grade. They never talked about college. So I knew at 9 years old, I was going to the military. Which branch? I didn't know. And then I chose the Navy because I wanted to be outside of, I was comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense, right? Because the Navy is predominantly white. So here I am, this black inner city kid going on a ship out in the middle of the sea. I did that for 15 years on ships, and the rest was on shore. But I had to put myself in an uncomfortable position, sometimes in an uncompromising position, because I was used to being uncomfortable. I was used to strong. So that made me stronger, which in turn, being in a predominantly white corporation made me stronger. And I had to get rid of my fear gene. I kind of like forced the fear gene out of my body because I'm stepping up.
Yeah.
What the kid, it's not going to happen anymore. So I don't care if it's an all white establishment. I'm going to be recognized in this because I know what happens when a child is stripped of nothing. I don't want to commit suicide. I don't want to be molested anymore. So my mind was made up, and that the anger was like, you know what, don't do it, don't push me. But I had to get over the anger too, and so I just said, you know, I'm gonna put all my strength and my knowledge into being successful and being strong. So sometimes I was too strong with my kids. Sometimes I was too strong with my girlfriends and my ex-wife. Sometimes I was bearing it, you know what I'm saying, and overcompensating because that fear of that child coming back to me, being stripped, you know, being broken down to have nothing and committing suicide. I didn't want those thoughts to come back and overtake me.
Wow. You know what I wanted to ask you, Leon? Have you ever been narcissistic with a woman and almost broke her down, and then see her completely boss up afterwards, after the relationship. How does that feel for you? Because I feel like my ex sees that, got my degree, got my house, kids are straight, and everything about being on welfare or being the roundaway girl, whatever he wanted to beat me down with, is completely non-existent now. And I'm just wondering, I know he'll never admit it, but I'm like,
Oh, we don't like that because you became successful without us. We like to have that control and power to build you up one level at a time. And if we want to hold you at that level by being manipulative and keeping you down and not complimenting you and going against other people to compliment you because we know we should have complimented you. Narcissistic people are very jealous and very unforgiving. So when you break away and you start blowing up, that's a failure on our behalf. It hurts because that happened to me in 1992 when I broke up with her. I put her down, told her I didn't like her, told her I didn't love her, told her I was cheating on her. And then she got with this dude and just like got her hair cut, was wearing lip gloss, better clothes, better earrings, good skin was clear.
oh,
And then
come on, clear skin.
yeah, I was, narcissistic men don't want to see that. They really don't. Until you get help and say, hey, you know what, you did this to her. You know, a lot of women are beat down and abused so much to whereas we make them strong away from us, and then we become weak, to her. And so now when those tables turn, that's not nothing that a man wants to go through, or a woman that's narcissistic, because we can't handle it seeing you being better than when we had you. We couldn't take you up to the next level. We thought we could hold you down, but we didn't have the strength to hold you down. You got away. That's why I talk about narcissistic people don't like to lose. And it's not about we broke up, I left you, you left me. It's about you got away.
Wow. Okay. But would you ever admit that to her? Like, oh, I see you doing good now. You know what? More power to you. I made that mistake. You never.
I can do that now, but back then I couldn't do it and I wouldn't do it. I was not going to admit defeat. She can look good, got an MBA, got a house, got a car, you got a business, and I would never congratulate her. Nope. But now I'm good at that. And yeah, I was a bad person. I was sick. Like I say, narcissistic people are very, very, very jealous. They will never admit to it. And we are, very unforgiving, so we don't even forgive ourselves. And for the longest, I never forgave myself. So I held on to that anger about my childhood. And, that was me. But no, I would not congratulate. I do it now. I like to congratulate people and my exes that are doing well. I enjoy doing that because it makes me feel better about somebody that I was able to date that are doing well now. And I used to be with her. I could have been this with her. I could have got this business with her or helped her out with a degree, whatever, increase her credit score. But now I can do it, but I couldn't do it back then. There was no way I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So then I'm going to get that out of my mind, that it'll ever be a chance where he'd say, you know what, I was wrong. And I see you doing big things. We'll just.
He could.
Really?
He could.
So they can change people, because not that I would ever, because for me, I wouldn't want to be back with any of my exes. When I'm done with that. But I do feel like it's kind of for a closure where it would be like, you know what, it was never your fault. That's, even with molestation, with anything that, a woman goes through, especially as a Black woman, I think a lot of the times we get the angry stereotype, but we're really just looking for an apology, some acknowledgement of what happened, because we are very fragile. We're strong because we have no choice, but there's like a little part right in the heart that is like, it's soft, and it just,
he can do that if he wants to. I was able to do it, and it's like I look back on the things that I've said and I've done to women. I'm like, man, you were pretty messed up. But now that I see that they're successful, I always say, you were really good for me. I should have stayed. You helped me out. But back then, a narcissistic dude, I'm not going to admit my faults and my flaws. I'm not going to admit. No, I can't.
Well, I'm going to be real with you, though. Honestly, in the last maybe 2 months, watching your videos and seeing, the growth in you as a Black man, I feel like a part of me is healed. I feel like in talking to you and stuff like that, so I can be a real testament to whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You're amazing, because I do feel parts of me that don't need validation, because I've watched your videos, because you are humble enough to even talk to me for 20 minutes on a show, and your videos do heal. They make me feel a lot better and help me realize that it wasn't all my fault. Like, I never go into the victim mentality because I do realize there are narcissistic traits in myself as well. I think everybody has a little bit of that needs healing through therapy and all that. But I also feel like the parts that weren't my fault, I feel like a little bit of shedding off of me because I'm able to watch your video.
It makes you lighter too. Opens your mind to do other things, to think differently, because I want people to think differently. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I don't throw anybody on the bus. And I'm gonna tell you something, Yolanda. I've been posting videos since 2006, 17, whatever, right? And it was like, blah, 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 health, fitness, leadership, motivation, mindset. And when I'm telling you, men have unfollowed me for years. Yo, man, blah, blah, blah. They'll say something. I'm like, all right, yo, man, okay, whatever. And I'm telling you, Yolanda, honest to God, as soon as I started talking about narcissism, men are calling me.
What? I would never have guessed.
Men are saying, man, you know what, bro? Thank you. I've been struggling with this for years. I get phone calls from men probably 2 to 3 times a week, or a text message. Hey, man, I can't believe you said that, bro. I didn't know how to do it.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah, and I have men tell me, man, I've been going through therapy for 7 months and it hasn't even helped me, but just watching a video unlocked my mind. And so men are starting to reach out now because a lot of them are just like Leon, And so more men are reaching out now. Yeah.
You know what? That's a question I wanted to ask you when we was talking the other night. I was like, you know what? I wanted to ask you, does it also make you a little bit more appealing to the women as well? Like, are you getting inboxes about, I could change? You know what I mean? Like, are you getting those? Does it really? Now, how is that going to, how are you going to handle that? Because if you do decide, you know what, one day you're going to be in a relationship and you want to settle down and whatnot, how is that because women are attracted to the change in you, how are you not going to mishandle them? How are you sure you're healed, but not to mishandle?
So I'm sure that I'm healed because a narcissistic person, when I made a woman upset and cry, I would get turned on to watch her cry.
What?
And then I would hold her and then it would go to something else. So that was a turn on for me.
Wow.
That was manipulation, right? And so here I am now knowing that I'm still retired, but I'm still a leader and I don't want to manipulate or use any women, right? Because one thing for sure with me, and I've known this for years, one thing for sure, when I do something wrong, my karma is instant. It's never a day or so away. My karma is, it could be if I said something to a girl and then 30 minutes later I'd stub my toe or cut my toe or lose a credit card, lose a debit card. My karma was instant. So I don't play with a woman's emotions anymore. I've been in situations where I play with women's emotions so bad that one tried to kill me.
What the hell?
And yeah, I was in like 25, 26. So even now, I'm more professional. I'm more aware that people are hurting. Women are more open and vulnerable. I don't play those games anymore. I don't say things to lure them in. I don't want to mislead anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be this guy all of a sudden, oh, he's a fraud, he's a fake. He's been doing this to get his DMs blown up. Women are in my DMs all the time, but you know what? They come with a level of professionalism and they come with straight up questions because that's what I put off.
Right.
Now, if you see me in my videos, suave, flirting, they're going to say, oh yeah, let me try him out. So I had a young lady that reached out to me and straight up in her email, she's like, I want to have sex with you. She didn't use those words.
Oh, hell.
That I see that you're dominant and I watch your videos and it opened my eyes and opened my vagina. And I was like, hold on, first of all, I'm not dominant and I'm not here for those type of things. She was a young girl too. Yeah, so I had to shut that down quick. It's not because I think that the email will pop up later on. I'm just not in that mindset anymore.
No,
I'm not going.
It shows.
Yeah, I don't. You know what, Yolanda? I don't have the nerve to have 3 or 4 or 5 women. When I was doing what I was doing, it was like 5 women. That ain't enough. I need 5 more. Now I look back, I'm like, dude, how did you have the nerve to lie and date her and sleep with her an hour later and kiss her and kiss her 2 hours later and lie to your wife and lie to your girl? Sick. I got tired of having those sins in my body. My sins were greed and gluttony and plus lust. Yeah, I was sick. So yeah.
but I'm so proud of your growth. And to be honest, I think that women also can take a little bit of responsibility, because we could tell when we're being played. We, you know, even for me, I had to take some accountability in my dealings with a narcissist. I was attracted to someone who could possibly dominate me or who could lead me because I lacked the whole daddy relationship. So there are some women who seek out a man that's going to tell them, go sit down, or be disrespectful, or maybe even tell them who they are. Some women don't have that daddy connection, and we have to take accountability as well for, you know, that. But do you find, one other question I wanted to ask, do you find that narcissists seek out a certain type of personality trait in a woman? You always say like a good wholesome girl, this, that, the next. Can you guys tell if a girl doesn't really know who she is and is looking?
Yeah, so I call that a woman low street credit score.
Ooh, not a low credit score.
Yeah, her street credit score is very low. And again, like I told you early on when we started, listening was my signature move, because I was going to be manipulative after I listened to everything she wanted. So when I found out this, what she wanted and what she needed, mainly what I found when I found out what she wasn't getting and what she was depleted of, those are the things that I attacked, right? So I don't want to hear nothing about no strengths. I don't want to hear about your degrees, congratulations. I don't want to hear about your credit score, good job. I want to hear about what you weren't getting, so that I can get what I get from you after I give you what you weren't getting, you know? So I was very manipulative. But the wholesome women, you know, I had a lot of wholesome women in my life and I enjoyed them, but I hurt them. And it hurt me worse to hurt a wholesome woman that came to me like, hey, Leon, happy-go-lucky, and next week I'm going to abuse you. I'm going to take your heart, break your heart, and take your soul, you know? So, but we don't want those women that are already sharp, got themselves together, which most of them that I dated did, because it's not going to be any fun, because they can pick up on who we really are in the beginning.
Exactly. That's the part.
Narcissistic men like myself like to have fun manipulating the girl, making her cry, making her laugh, you know, sleeping with her when I want to, coming over when I coming and going when I wanted to, instead of narcissistic men. I didn't want to be held accountable. So I'm like, man, this is gonna be tough. And then when I get in and I know that you're not that mature, because you're sheltered, you don't know anything, you got a low street credit score. It's over at that moment. And then that's when I started being manipulative and abusive and you know, just all over the place, you know, with her.
Predatorial. It's a little bit of being a predator, but at the same time, speaking from a woman's perspective, and I don't have that many girlfriends per se, which also helps with a narcissist being to isolate you if you don't have that many friends. But I never really had that many girlfriends, but the ones I have talked to sometimes can say that they too were being manipulative, you know what I mean? So it's not just a man thing, and it's not just something that, you know, oh, I didn't know he was going to do this to me. Some women actually, they have to take accountability in the fact that, yes, he slapped you in your face and you didn't leave. You kind of wanted that daddy streak. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes, not saying that abuse is okay before our asses get sued or whatever the case is. I'm not saying abuse is okay, but some women do actually look for a father figure or some type of male dominance in the relationship. So they have to take accountability for that too, right?
Well, a lot of times it's because they saw their mother run the household and they're like, I wish dad would step up, or I wish dad would open his mouth. And then they get into a relationship and they're like, okay, I want this type of guy because he's doing what my dad didn't do.
You got it. Bang on the head right there. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's exactly it. But, you know, I promised I wasn't going to take up too much of your time. So we're going to do strawberry letters. This is something where people actually write into TeaTalk Live 82@gmail.com. That's a little plug. So they write in and they kind of ask questions. So I wanted to ask you what you think about this letter I got. I'm looking at my phone now, so that's why my eyes are shifting. So it says, her male coworker is showing interest. She has a boyfriend for 8 years, but now she got this male coworker pushing up on her, and she's catching feelings for him because her boyfriend of 8 years, high school sweetheart, hasn't made a move to get married. He barely takes her on dates and all this stuff. So now that this is giving her some more attention, what should she do about this?
Well, what happened, first of all, she has outgrown him. Like we talked about earlier, women are more mature than men by at least 7 years. I read that 30 years ago. She has outgrown him. She knows there's more into her that she has, but she's not going to give that to him because she don't feel like he deserves it. She's been with him for 8 years. So there's a lot about her that he doesn't know. But at the same time, he's become complacent and comfortable and civilized. The worst thing you can do in a relationship is become civilized. I had a girlfriend tell me I had become civilized, and I knew she wasn't going nowhere, but she wound up leaving. She was like, Leon, I'm vulnerable. And when she told me those words, I like, ooh, I didn't want that because she was wide open. Then when I got her back in, okay, I kissed her, you know, blah, 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 show you more attention. I got her back, kissy, kissy, kiss. I'm like, I don't even want you now. You know, when you plan to, when you had an exit plan and then I didn't want you to leave, it wasn't that I didn't want her to leave. I didn't want another man taking her. So my thing is, you leave when I'm ready for you to leave. When I push you out there for him. You're not gonna leave me if I'm not ready for you.
Yes, okay.
It ain't gonna, so in her situation, she's outgrown him. It's been 8 years. They should have been married after year 1.
I was gonna say that. I'm like, if a man does not make, you know, a decision, forget exclusivity, but in terms of him claiming you as his wife to be, I think, especially depending on our age, we don't need to be playing games for all 8 years. Like I say, after year 1 or 2, he better know if you want to be his wife. Shoot.
Right.
Like,
and this guy that's on her attention, what he's doing also is unearthing emotions in her that she had wanted her husband or her current boyfriend, to unearth. But he's paying attention to her. Women like a man that pays attention to him. Women like a man that knows what she wants, likes, needs, and desires. When you get to a level in your relationship and you're comfortable, to me, it's just a form of disrespect because we all are in us. Here I am at 55 years old, writing books.
You look great for your age, Leon. You better go ahead, 55.
Thank you. I didn't know I could do these things early on, but by virtue of being in relationships, women have taught me that I can do this. It's called reassuring confidence, which we all, reassuring confidence, which we all need. Now, this guy that she's showing her attention at work, it makes her feel good. He may compliment her on the streets that she's got in her hair, and her boyfriend compliment her. He may compliment her on her lip gloss or her new shoes, or man, you looking good in that dress. Anything. Or I like that nail color. And so she get up in the morning and prance around, put her perfume on, walk past him 5 times. He don't say nothing. As soon as she get to work and this dude is complimenting her, it makes her feel good. So it's hard. He's helping her find a different part in her, which her current boyfriend is not doing that.
Well, that's what, you know, that whole love languages test and quiz thing that we was talking about. I did it because I knew my love language was words of affirmation, but I'm like, maybe I have like a secondary trait, something, because I'm not big on gifts. What do I like? Quality time? I don't know. So I go ahead and do the test and it's words of affirmation for real, through and through. So I'm like, maybe this girl also is looking for some type of, like you said, affirmation, some type of, you know, I don't know, reassurance, you know, for somebody, and you know, she's not getting that. Yeah,
so if you were a man that's not talking, not complimenting you, it makes you feel worthless. It's like, well, damn, do I look good?
I'm doing this for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, do I have any good qualities? And when a man and I had to be very careful with that because I knew I'm really good with certain words. I'm really good with communicating and words of affirmation. I know how to motivate and lead people and inspire people, but I use that to make a woman feel good about herself. Again, listening to what she wasn't getting and for my own benefit. So I was being a predator, you know?
Wow.
But when a man does those things, when he acknowledges those things and he's aware of who she is, or even aware of how far she can go doing different things, she might like paying attention to me. They like that, you know?
Right. Like what she could be, what her potential would be, you know? But, you know, honestly, what we're going to do is we're going to keep on striving to get better. We're going to keep striving to change. And I'm going to play a little clip of, one of your excerpts on Instagram about Narcissist changing, and can he change, and let everybody see that you are a product of struggle and change and success. And I admire you. And yeah, so we're going to ask them to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we'll always stay in contact for sure. I can't wait to have you back on the show.
Looking forward to it. I appreciate it. And I had a lot of fun always talking to you, Kalana. Thank you.
Likewise. Have a great evening.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
I hurt you, I'm gonna come and go. I'm very untrustworthy. But you saw that smile, you thought that I was happy to be in front of you or with you. No, it's about me. The narcissistic guy, the one with narcissistic traits.
And I was supported to walk, lifting one heel at a time. My path of wealth, my path of love, my path of health, my path of joy. I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk. Healing in my heels, that's my rhythm. Healing in my heels. When I heal myself,